another day of chess and psychology. I'm glad to have 71 viewers so far. I hope you're all staying home. I wish I did. So I wanted to show as much as puzzles as I can today, because so far in our chess and psychology classes we've talked about games a lot, and we've talked about how to think and the preparation and stuff. So today I wanted to give some puzzles so we could see how to apply those and try and find the best moves. So yeah, let's start. I'll be reading the chats from my phone, so I might I'll see it and I'll respond to it verbally, most likely. So yeah, let's dive in. This is the first position, blacks to move. Some of it might be too easy. If it's too easy, I have harder ones prepared too. So basically, the way I think about it, most of these puzzles are about you find out what you want to do, and then you realize how why the opponent isn't letting you, and like how the opponent is blocking that idea, and then you find a way to fix it, pretty much. So it's not as straightforward. Okay, so far I only have one suggestion. So far I don't see the correct move, and thank you Tracy for the suggestion. Ooh, someone said it. Ooh, hello Aram. Wait, I don't think that's the Aram that I know.
It's not the same Jacobian.
It's very tricky for me. If you are the same Aram, say something like Webster or something.
Right.
I have one person so far who has said it correctly. Oh, hey Aram. Haha. Well, so a lot of you are saying the moves that are going to happen soon, but I don't really see the exact. Okay, 2 people have said it so far. I'll give it another minute before I give some hints. So usually the way that's easier to think about is to think of, whoa, that would be my Siri. Is to think about, first of all, checks and see what's wrong with the check. Why wouldn't it work? And then think about takes, and then again, why wouldn't that work? And then think about moves with threats. Alright, yeah. I have a lot of people who are saying it now. Cool. Yeah. So For example, Nikos Dallas, I think. Maybe give me a full line. Okay, yeah, Mr. Hamid gave a full line. Cool. So yeah, that's pretty much the idea. You wanted to bring your rook, and well, if it doesn't take, then bishop f3 is also coming, and if then bishop f3, queen h2 is the next move. So, well, not that. But if rook takes, just bishop f3 and queen f1. Cool. Ready for next one? Whoa, I don't want to save it.
Dorsa, I'm getting some brushing on your mic. Could you move it more toward the center?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I think so.
Okay. So this one is white to move. Again, think about checks first and figure out what's wrong and if the check is good enough for it. Yeah, these puzzles are tricky, I told you. Where did my viewers go? I had 100 plus.
Yeah, I guess 10 of them just left.
So maybe send out some suggestions on what are the moves that you're thinking about. And we can go from there. Okay, so far I'm getting some good suggestions. So yeah, well, the idea is that I've been talking a lot about psychology so far. So today we wanted to give like a, what do they call it, a home quiz, take-home exam? I mean, everything is becoming online these days, so can't wait to see how my organic chemistry exams will turn out. But yeah, so we wanted to figure out how you guys can apply those. So I've seen some good suggestions. For example, the line that Team Priest, I don't know.
Yeah, Tim Priest.
Yeah, cool. That line actually was correct, but dig a little deeper, because check you don't really have to take, or you don't have to take with the rook. The line that Tracy just gave is also correct, but so let's think about it. Bishop b5 check. The things that you definitely have to consider are the 3 takes, a take, rook take, and queen take, because bishop d7, well, it's already kind of game over. So yeah, so bishop b5 is indeed the first move. Now you can think about what if the opponent takes with the pawn, because Tim already set the rook, and what if queen? Shouldn't be that hard, just, I mean, I just want someone to say the line. Yeah, alright, Brian said it. Let's move on. Because basically, yeah, check. If you take with the pawn, your queen falls. If you take with the rook, that's kind of like the trickier line. And this queen c7 is the finishing touch. And if you just take with the queen, just knight takes, and you have more material, and this should get the job done. Cool. Let's go to the next one. This one is also white to move. Oh, this one is actually nice. I think I've shown this one to someone before. But yeah. So this one is a little trickier. The way I recommended to think about it was to think about, okay, so what's biggest problem in black's position? The king that's in the corner, right? So in this situation, the king is in corner, the bishop is controlling the g8, the runaway square, but you can't really mate right now. So you need to find the move that's helps the I don't want to give out the move, so I've said enough for now. Well, if you know it, don't say it for like a minute or two, and let's give everybody a chance to take a look at it, maybe. I have so many people saying it right now. That's cool. So, Angelo is right, and that is one of the lines that works. Well, actually, it's pretty much the main line that works, because the problem is, so if after knight d7, you have to take it, because if you don't take it, rook h3 and your mate. So you take it with the bishop, and this knight d7 buys you just enough time to actually bring out the rook and attack this knight more. And the mate is pretty much inevitable. I can't say the word. So now think, what if bishop e6? It's actually not much of a thinking, but it would make more sense when you're thinking about it beforehand to try and find the best moves for black, because this is literally the best move for black, which white still should be able to get the job done, because even if you try to run, it's a stalemate, and you take, it's a stalemate. So that one was a good one. I like that. That's one of my favorite puzzles to show. Alright, this one is black to move. Oh, it's actually nice. So yeah, keep thinking about the ideas we've talked about so far, training yourself to think about checks and takes so you don't miss a simple mate or a simple capture.
Numbers are back up.
Yeah, I was kind of going for like 150, 200, but next time. Brian, I think you mean knight b4. And that's one of the ideas that you should work on. I flipped the board, so f2 that I'm getting suggestions would be c7. Okay, so Patrick is saying, what Patrick is saying is true, so someone just give me the line, because I think you all are thinking about it. What red? Alright, so I have different people saying it correctly. Alright, thanks for the line. Yeah, so first you take it with the rook that you're not going to use to 8. And then after take, now you give the check. It's a fork, so even if you try to run away, your queen falls. So you take her k8. Perfect. Thank you for all of you who found it and thought about it, and just all of my 108 viewers. Thank you. Tell your friends to get here. Alright. This one is white to move. This is also very simple because right now you have a choice to take on e6 and just... Whoa. Oh, no. It showed the move. Wait, why can't I just take here? The problem is because it shows the move. So this puzzle kind of didn't work, but I'll just tell you what I think about it. So this one, the idea is that basically if you take on e6, you'll definitely, I mean, you're better and you'll probably have it, you're fighting for win, and it shouldn't be that hard to win. But if you want a more clean win, which you should always try to have the cleanest ways to win, rook f7 is the move to think about. And when he would take, you just play knight f5, the if rook e8, knight d4, and the e6 rook falls, and it's much more clear to win this rather than this position. So that's the basic idea, to try and train yourself to always want the cleanest way to win and the way that gives your opponents the least chances. So yeah, that was basically it. And alright, so this one is white to move. This one should also be pretty doable fast, so I'll give everybody about a minute. So yeah, keep thinking about those checks and takes first before you suggest other moves, because if they don't work, then yes, think about other moves, but you don't want to miss some opportunity with checks and takes. Alright, so far 2 people have said it. It is white to move. Alright, yeah. You guys found it. Perfect. So yes, you take first. The problem is if the opponent takes back, just the queen falls. So if he decides to take your queen, you have this double check and then just simple mate. So yeah, good job. Alright, this one is also white to move. It's kind of it's slightly harder than the ones we've seen so far because it's not supposed to be as clear, and it takes a bit more calculation. So yeah, good luck. I'll be right here. Alright, so far a lot of the people have said the right move, but I would prefer it if you give me actual lines so I can say yes, these people have found it, not just the one move. Oh, thank you. Nixon, thank you. We're gonna hear a loud bang soon, probably. And then Simon to the rescue.
Scary door.
Yeah.
Oh man, clutch Nixon.
Yeah.
Thanks. It's nice.
It feels good. Thank you for those writing in Farsi. I'm reading it. Okay, so I have a line. Okay. Bishop f6. So you are right about g6, because just take and queen h6 gets the job done. So bishop f6, the 2 main lines that I think you should think about are the rook taking and the other rook coming to a7 to protect g7 square. So Patrick, okay, you're telling the queen h6 against rook a7. Queen h6 is the correct move, but maybe try to find the best move for black too, and keep going from there. Because your position is better, and you should be able to win this, but it's easier if you try and train yourself to not only think about your best moves, but your opponent's best moves too, so you're better prepared for it before making the move. Yeah, so Patrick, queen f8 is correct. What would you do after queen f8? So I'm gonna do the first move because I'm not sure everybody are following. So bishop f6 is the first move and is correct. So now the two lines that we're thinking we should be prepared for is first of all taking and rook up. So far against rook a7 we've agreed on queen h6, and after queen f8 we are thinking what should white do. I think the problem with rook h3 if after queen f8 is that the rook f6 can work. So the line that I'm talking about is rook a7, queen h6, queen f8. If rook h3, rook takes on f6, and then if queen h7, king runs away from f7, and the g7 pawn is being protected by the queen. There should still be some. White still should be able to keep fighting on this game, but black gets the easier game. And it's unnecessary to give up your bishop for free. What book do I recommend for puzzles? I've been doing online puzzles for a few years now, so I haven't really done book puzzles in a while. Let's see. I really liked doing this book. It's called 26,000. It's like endgames and strategy. I really like doing that. When I started doing that, when I got through that, my rating had a huge jump. But I don't actually know if that's like a book, physical book more, but it's a chess-based, there's a chess-based version of it. Okay, I think rook a7 might be a little hard to find before knowing everything about rook f6, so maybe let's think about rook takes f6 first. We'll come back to rook a7 right after we finish this line, because this line is slightly easier, more forced. So you're probably going to take this anyways, and king will have to go to h8, because if king goes to f8, sure, rook g8 should be winning enough. I think there are better options too, but rook g8 should be enough to win this game. And if king goes to h8, now what's the move you would do? I think you have mate in 3, regardless of what's... as soon as you find this move. I will show rook a7 right after, but rook a7 is the more tricky line, and I just wanted to get the easier line out of the way. Alright, so Joe was right. Yeah, queen g5. So after queen g5, black has realistically 2 ways to try and defend, with rook g6 and rook f8. So rook f8 is easier. Someone tell me what would you do against rook f8? Yes, Patrick, you're correct. Queen g5 is better than queen g2. Alright, Sharian found it. Alright, a lot of people found it. Cool. Rook h7, take and mate. Perfect. So, instead of rook f8, what if the rook goes to g6? And after this, we can go back to rook a7. Alright, yeah. I have many people saying it right now. So yeah, you do take it. If the queen takes, it's pretty easy. You just give the check and eat the queen and happy endings. And if the pawn takes it, queen h6 should be winning enough. Great. Yay. So let's go back to the original position after bishop f6. Rook a7, we agreed on queen h6, queen f8, and now we already talked a little about rook coming to h3. So let's think about what's wrong with... I did say what's wrong with rook h3, so maybe let's think about something a little bit more simple, because black is kind of stuck right now. And there's nothing wrong with just keeping the pressure. So the problem with rook h3 was that after rook h3, rook f6, and the king kind of escapes a little, because queen h7, king f7, and you don't really have a clear win. And that's why, that's what's wrong with rook h3, because the f6 bishop is kind of hanging. Oh, I have someone saying it. Yay. 2 people have said it. I'll wait for a 3rd one. Oh no, Joe, why are you changing your answer? And Anthony, you are right, but if you play knight e2, rook f6 is still something that you should be careful about. Yeah, alright, so everybody is saying, most people are thinking about it. Bishop e5 is the move that you can play, and yeah, the idea is that you simply want to bring your knight, or even just bring the rook. Whoops. So yeah, Bishop e5 is the critical move because it's a simple move, and while you're on the high of attacking, sometimes you just miss the simple moves and you end up giving your opponent chances to escape. And it's very important to always keep your cool and try and find the best moves for the position, not just because you feel like you're attacking and there should be something. Well, yeah, there should be something, but don't forget about strategy and positional game while you're doing the dynamic stuff. Cool, so black pretty much can only try and maybe play king h8 to maybe have some ideas with, I actually don't know if how black can get out of this, because black is like really super stuck. So it's right now it's up to you. You have your opponent stuck. You can either bring out the knight or you can just play rook h3 and it should be just enough. So yeah, this was a cool puzzle. I like this one. Ready for next? Whoa. This is an easy one. You should be having fun with this. Remember, keep thinking about checks and trapping kings and stuff. Yeah, I have people saying it cool. So I'll just give it another 30 seconds before we move on to the next one. So before thinking about a move such as rook b5, which should be a good move, it's better to always think about takes and checks. Well, first checks and takes. And make sure that there's nothing there, because if you miss the check and miss the take, then it's gonna haunt you for a while. Yeah, I have a lot of people saying it. Awesome. So yeah, you do take, and after king takes, bishop c5 is the pretty cool. You're just keeping the king over here, and next move you're gonna play rook a3 and voila. Ooh, this one is nice too. Okay, so this one is also white to move, and it might be a little harder. Well, it takes more calculation, definitely, than the last one. I would suggest you think about checks first, and when you see if it doesn't work, then think about takes, and then if that doesn't work, I know I'm saying it a lot, but I just really want that to try and become a habit. Alright, yeah, so the first thing that does come to mind is rook b7 or bishop b7 or some stuff like that. So think about that and maneuver around that. So if you're suggesting, like Patrick, like you think you should play rook b7, preferably give me a line, because rook b7, well, black is going to take with the bishop, and the big question is what are you going to do next? Yeah, the bishop is better to stay on a6, yep. Yeah, Patrick, you're right. So give me a line. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting some good lines. Yes, if after rook b1, bishop takes a6, queen takes a6, king d7, rook b7. So yeah, that is a correct line. But what if after rook b1, bishop a6 is not necessary? What if your opponent just plays rook d7? So I'm gonna make that line, put it on the board. Rook b1, rook d7. So my question is, how will you proceed? So right now it's where it's getting a little tricky. Well, the problem is that after rook d7, you can't just wait around, because queen b5, bishop takes a6, queen a6, just king goes to d8, and that's it. You just are a rook down. Yeah, so you do take it, and the queen takes, and so now the problem, well, ideally you would want to play c6, but you can't because of the knight on e5. So the first thing you should think about is bishop takes b7, and then you realize that, well, that doesn't work because just rook takes. And then the second thing you could think about is c6, and then that also doesn't work because of knight takes c6. And then the third thing you should think about is bishop e5, and think if that works, and if it doesn't work as well as it should, why is that? Yeah, but if bishop e5, black has a very nice move, and I don't want to say it without everybody having thought about it. Yes, bishop e5 would work if black didn't have this move. So now maybe it's a good idea for everybody to think about bishop takes e5. If f takes e5, c6, you're winning. Great. But what if bishop takes e5? Try and find the best move for black. Oh yeah, so the prophet did do a good prophecy. I guess that joke might work. Alright, so bishop e5, king d8, yeah. Okay, I have a bunch of other people thinking about king d8. So yeah, you take king d8 is the reason bishop e5 wouldn't work the best as it should, because now this mate is coming, and you can try and play like h3, f4 stuff, and just take, and rook e8, and white is still better, and white can keep fighting for a win, but black is kind of slipping away. So that's why here, after queen b7, now you know what is wrong with bishop e5. Think about a better way to approach this problem. So you know that your first rank is the problem. Think about fixing that. So I'm getting a lot of queen b5s. So queen b5 is, it doesn't really do you that much of good because, well, you want to keep working on the c6 idea, I assume. Well, yeah, but the c6 idea is pretty cool, and the king d8 doesn't work anymore because of take. And so I was thinking, what if simply take over here and just king d8, queen e6. This should be working, but so the way that they went about it in the game was they played h3, which is like one of those chill moves that you would never think about middle of an attack when you're rook down in a million years. But the idea is if the king tries to run, you just take, and now you have queen a6 and you are attacking this e6. And so I think that's pretty cool, and I kind of like that idea. So yeah, so this puzzle was pretty cool. Let's see what's the next one. Oh, this one is nice and should be pretty easy. So this one is black to move. I think this might be our last one, depending on how fast we can do it. So yeah, this is black to move, and try to figure out what's the problem and how you can fix it, basically. And always try to, when you look at a position, try to figure out what are your weaknesses, what are your opponent's weaknesses, and try to fix those. Oh, somebody did say h3. Well, cool. Ah, I'm on 121. Can we reach 150? I know. Next week?
It's pretty good though for Tuesday night.
I don't know how the ladies' night is gonna work.
I'm not concerned with that. Because I'm not concerning myself with that.
Should they put an all-girl class online? If like a guy texts us, we kick him out. I'm kidding. We won't do that.
I'm gonna tell you, like, honestly.
What happens to the wine and cheese? That's my main question.
Yeah, maybe you get some wine and cheese. But
everybody,
the way I'm thinking is that every class that we stream could be our last for a month.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the so most, I don't want to say most, but some of the states near Missouri have done shutdowns for the restaurants and bars for now. But
Well, that's happening in St. Louis City and County on Thursday night.
Oh, cheers to that. But like, I'm kind of, I'm like, so if when they do that, the awesome shutdown, which will happen soon enough, I'm gonna give it 2 to 3 weeks before everybody's like, sit in your homes. If you go out, we shoot you, or we give you tickets. I guess it's pretty much the same at this point. Yeah, I'm kind of.
There's no one here at this club except for me, you, and Daro, and maybe Caleb upstairs. It's so bizarre.
I mean, if you give me a piece of St. Louis Chess Club, I can hang it in my room and sit down the window. Give me a flag, I'll hang it on my dorm. In my dorms, people are throwing parties, and I'm like, is this still like, oh god. Oh, I'm having some cool answers. All right. Yeah, I think so far 4 people have mentioned it. Cool. We got a 5th one. All right, I'm saying it. So the idea is that you realize that your opponent have done a sacrifice that doesn't work very well, and you want to take advantage of that. So the first thing you could think about are the checks, and this should be one of the things you think about, even though it doesn't work because of just queen takes and you will get mated. When you keep that in mind, you realize that rook g4 works, because if I take with the queen, now this works, and I eat your queen. And if I don't take with the queen and take back, whoops, with the rook, the first rank is weak, and this works. So yeah, the other thing that you should think about is, yeah, if rook g4, what if bishop takes g7? Well, you kind of have to take it back, and you are simply a rook up, because there are no perpetuals, there are no miracle takes. Just even check here, you just run away with the king, and everything is pretty defended. Check, just king up, or even king f8 should work. I don't want to risk it. I like king h7. Yeah, this should perfectly work. And yeah, let's see, is there anything else? Well, just maybe don't play rook h7 because of queen f8. I don't think white has perpetual, but even if white finds a miracle, which I don't think there is, this is just purely winning. The rook g4 is the move that your position needs, so regardless of what white has, this is the move that you should play. And if white manages to pull something off, well, you did your best and white did their best, so you should be happy about that. I think I gotta take off because Daro's gonna come talk about endgames.
Possibly. We're having some big sync issues, so maybe we'll have that class and maybe we won't, hopefully in just a few moments.
Alright, so I am glad we all had, yeah, I'm glad you guys had fun. Hopefully you had fun. And hopefully we'll still keep the classes going for next week. Otherwise I'll have to be talking with masks and gloves from some weird hospital. I'm just kidding. St. Louis isn't that bad right now. So just stay safe. I want to say wash your hands, but I feel like that's becoming a cliche these days. Yeah, if you see a Lysol, just take it, because everywhere's like, we drove around for like an hour and we found 2 Lysols, and we're very proud of that. So stay safe, wash your hands, eat, sleep, do chess. Chess is the only game that you can actually continue doing online. So see you next week.